This video demonstrates how to create a carbon credits calculator in Excel. It calculates the annual CO2 emissions from a coal-fired power plant company, the number of required carbon credits based upon a 90% cap, the price of the carbon credits, and how much those carbon credits will cost electricity consumers. Row 1 of your carbon credits calculator must have the following 9 headers. Company. Enter annual coal-generated electricity in megawatt hours. Annual carbon dioxide emissions in tons. Carbon dioxide requiring carbon credits due to a 90% cap in tons. Enter price per carbon credit in dollars. Total cost of carbon credits in dollars. Number of households. Annual cost of carbon credits per household in dollars, and monthly cost of carbon credits per household in dollars. Highlight cells B1 and E1 by clicking cell B1, holding down the Control key, and clicking cell E1. In Excel's Home tab, within the Font area, click the Fill Color icon. Notice that this highlights the background of both cells with a color, thereby making them stand out. Notice that this calculator already contains 2 essential pieces of information for the hypothetical company named PowerMax. First, PowerMax annually generates 75,777,453 megawatt hours of electricity from its coal-fired power plants. Second, the cost of a single carbon credit is $12.77. Note that both the annual generation and the cost of a single carbon credit will change. Including these 2 pieces of information now allows us to see how the calculator functions as it calculates how many carbon credits PowerMax must purchase. It also allows us to see how much each household served by PowerMax will have to pay when the company passes those costs on to its consumers. Format columns B, C, D, and G to have no decimal place and a comma 1000 separator. Accomplish this by clicking on column B, then holding down the Control key, then clicking on columns C, D, and G. Notice that this highlights the columns. Right-click on any highlighted column, select Format Cells, select the Number tab, select the Number category, reduce the decimal places to 0, place a check in the box named Use 1000 Separator, comma, and click the OK button. Format columns E, F, H, and I to represent their values as currency. Accomplish this by clicking on column E, then holding down the Control key, then clicking on columns F, H, and I. Notice that this highlights the columns. Right-click on any highlighted column, select Format Cells, select the Number tab, select the Currency category, ensure that the decimal places is set to 2. From the Symbol pull-down menu, select the dollar symbol, and then click the OK button. In cell C2, type an equal sign. Then type an open parentheses, then click on cell B2, then type an asterisk, then type 2,210. Then type a close parentheses, then type a /, then type 2000, and then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. Note that this formula first multiplies the number of coal-generated megawatt hours by 2,210 pounds. This is because each megawatt hour of electricity generated by coal emits 2,210 pounds of carbon dioxide. The formula then divides the number of pounds by 2,000 in order to obtain tons. In cell D2, type an equal sign. Then click on cell C2, then type an asterisk, then type 0.1, and then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. Note that this formula calculates 10% of the annual carbon dioxide emissions from PowerMax. We need this value because this calculator assumes a 90% cap on carbon emissions, so any carbon dioxide emissions greater than 90% of last year's require carbon credits. In cell F2, type an equal sign. Then click on cell D2, then type an asterisk, then click on cell E2, and then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. Note that this formula multiplies the number of tons of carbon dioxide that exceed the 90% cap by the price of each carbon credit. It thereby calculates the total amount of money that PowerMax must spend because the company exceeded the 90% cap by continuing to generate the same number of megawatt hours with coal that it did in the previous year. In cell G2, type an equal sign. Then click on cell B2, then type a /, then type 10.972, and then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. Note that this formula calculates the total number of households receiving the 75,777,453 megawatt hours of electricity generated from coal. The number 10.972 is the average number of megawatt hours that a household consumes in 1 year. In cell H2, type an equal sign. Then click on cell F2, then type a /, then click on cell G2, and then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. Note that this formula calculates the annual cost per household when PowerMax passes the costs of carbon credits on to its consumers. In cell I2, type an equal sign. Then click on cell H2, then type a /, then type 12, and then hit the Enter button on your keyboard. Notice that Excel calculates the answer to the formula, and also notice that Excel's formula bar displays the formula. Note that this formula calculates the monthly cost per household when PowerMax passes the cost of carbon credits on to its consumers. Use this calculator to compute the following 4 items: the annual carbon dioxide emissions in tons from coal-fired power plant companies, the number of required carbon credits based upon a 90% cap, the total cost of the required carbon credits, how much those carbon credits will cost electricity consumers. These 4 issues can be calculated after entering the annual amount of coal-generated electricity and the price of each carbon credit.